Hey, my friends, my followers, my peeps. This is a special edition of Truth Talk with Tymon. Can I overcome? Now, on my main channel, I talk to people about a health update. Alright? And I have went through a lot in my life. And I got my notebook right here, got my Bible right here. In the special edition of this Truth Talk, I'll be breaking down some of the things that I've went through with a biblical perspective. Little about me. Of course, I started out college. My first degree was actually in culinary arts, but I don't want to go that far back. But I do have 3 associate's degrees. Then I went on to get a bachelor's degree in art at Western Illinois University. Then I got a bachelor's in arts degree in theology, and then I got a master in arts degree in sociology. So this is, I guess you would call a theology perspective and a little bit of the sociology perspective of, me as I evaluate myself and the things that I went through in life. And can I overcome? Yes. But it does get harder and harder. I've been fighting many battles in my life. With being bullied, with being picked on in school, with being cyberbullied online. So being cyberbullied kind of now. With the so-called friend of mine that is no longer a friend of mine, a homeless person I tried to help out back in my home state of Illinois. So I had kind of a rough childhood with being bullied. That was bad enough. So I got into the martial arts to help overcome that. I learned a lot in my martial arts journey. Okay? And then I went I went to Boy Scouts, learned some things in the Boy Scouts, and highest I got in the Boy Scouts was the Arrow of Light. Okay, I did the actual Scouts for 1 year. I was in the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and then I was in and then I never went up to an Eagle Scout. Okay, I didn't go that high. I did play a little bit of sports. I played a little bit of football. Did some wrestling. I tried up a track, but I couldn't do the track for very long. That's another long story, okay? But I was able to do some things, overcome some things. And those type of things helped me, but it was the karate that was the biggest thing that helped me. Some of the activities I tried to do in school, but it was really the karate that was my main journey in life. Okay, and then I joined the Navy. In the Navy, my first part of the career was pretty good. I started on a battleship sailor, and I loved the battleship. I joined in '84 and served on a battleship until 1990. It's a long time on one ship. I went to Antarctica for a short time. I'm not going to talk about my whole Navy journey. I'm going to paraphrase it. Went to Antarctica for a short time. I got out. I went to Seattle, Sandpoint. Met my wife in Seattle during a seafair. I married her. We got married at an apple orchard in Stanwood, Washington. Came back on active duty, crossed over to a cook. I was a cook for almost 13 years, and then I crossed over again and became a master at arms. I was on a small boy as a cook. I was in a Richmond K. Turner CG-20, worked in the pantry. I was in the main galley cook on an aircraft carrier, a line cook on an aircraft carrier, and you don't want to do that. There's a lot of people on a carrier. And then did speed line supervisor on the Bellawood. That's also the ship I crossed over. Became a master at arms on, and I became a cell block supervisor, working in the cell block. So it was a heck of a career. And then later I became an officer in the Sea Cadets and became a training officer. But with that, I was also a combat veteran, and I was in an explosion in Iraq, and I got a traumatic brain injury from an explosion I was in. I just got knocked down a lot of well, and I have a lot of ailments. I got spinal damage and nerve damage, and so we came out here to New Mexico so I could heal. That's why we're in a warmer climate now, because Midwest weather is bad, you know. And now I'm on this point in my life. I'm getting close to 60. I'm finishing my martial arts journey, going full circle. I made Grandmaster early, the official Grandmaster in April. We do my full moon tiger move on my main kicking with the CrossFit channel. So yeah, and I do these YouTube channels to help inspire. I did my cooking one because I enjoy cooking. I kind of messed up on that one sometimes. I hit the camera last time when I was making the logging soup. It's because I get the shakes. But I do what I can, and I try to share these things with you. And that's a little bit about me. I had a heck of a life. I had a heck of a life. So overcoming things on a biblical perspective. I talked about some of the things I went through as a childhood, being bullied and all that, and then the combat I endured. I had to take that split break. Then when I got out of the Navy, I got close to my son Kenny, and about 7 years ago, right before Christmas, he fell to the ice and got killed in a drowning accident when he fell to the ice. And I sure miss Kendo. I miss him a lot. And you know, I got some questions for the Lord Jehovah when I get up to heaven. You know, because of that loss. And then I also had a house fire that we deal with. So being bullied, being cyberbullied, being victim, being put down, having a hard life, a long, hard military career, enduring combat, losing my son, and then having a house fire, and now I'm here in New Mexico to heal. You wonder why I'm not a drunkard, you know? You know, because there's some Proverbs. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging. Whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Well, thankfully I'm not a drunkard. I didn't go to that point. I do have a lot of faith in the Lord. And there we go with the biblical perspectives of different things. Alright? Can I overcome? Now, 1 John talks about the world. And then Romans, I'm going to talk about evil with good. And then Revelation 3:21 talk about the throne of Jehovah, of God. Alright? 2 to talk about pain, the pain that I still deal with in my life, the war that I went through, and the loss that I went through. All right, so here we go. 1 John 5, 4-5. And this is the King James Version. It's a rewrite of the 1769 edition of the King James Version. Remember, the original King James Bible came out in 1611. I do have an original 1611. I thought it was a first edition, but it's actually a second edition. But it was printed in the year 1611, and of course the second editions were printed in the same year. Difference is the first edition just had the writings. The second edition had the pictures. This one has a few pictures in it and maps and stuff in it. It's a really cool Bible, but it's very brittle, and it has the word Jehovah in it instead of God, because Jehovah is the name of God, translated from the name Yahweh, which is the original Greek name of God. And then, of course, remember, Jesus is the Son of God. He's not God himself, but he's manifested by God. Okay, so he's God-like and has the God quality. He's not God himself. He has a manifestation of him, but he is the Son of God. So Jesus, his original name in Greek, in Hebrew, is Yeshua. Okay, or Yusuf. Okay, so it could be Joseph or also translated as Jesus in the King's English. And so that's how the King James Bible came about. It's not the oldest Bible in print, but it's actually the third oldest, to be honest. And I can go into Bible history, but I don't want to go off subject. But anyway, because I also have the Geneva Bible, which came out in 1599, and then the Ethiopian Bible, which is one of the oldest, and that has 84 books and not 66. Okay, here we go. 1 John 5, 4-5. There are a lot of markings in here. That could be that marking here. Could be. 1 John 5, 4-5. For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Now remember what faith is in Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay? Who is he that overcometh the world? But he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God. So if you believe Jesus is the Son of God, you can overcome the world. You follow Jesus in his teaching. Be kind. Be compassionate. Be respectful. Be giving. Be caring. Basically, it's socialism. And that's going to be one of my videos. It could be the socialism of Jesus. Because Jesus was a socialist. Really. If you think about the stuff he did. Okay? Romans 12:21. Well, I guess. Yep, it is. Romans 12:21. But not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Your good works here on earth help you overcome evil. There's revelations at the end, and actually that was my marker, so that looked out good. Revelation 3:21. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcome, and I am set down with my Father. So this is Jesus talking about his Father, which is Jehovah God, on his throne, in his throne, sitting at the right hand of the Father in heaven is Jesus. But we can join Jesus in heaven by the throne when we overcome, when we follow his word, do his works here on earth. Being kind, giving, compassionate, caring. Not hateful, not blasphemous, not evil. And I got one video that said, don't be a Trumpster. Because Trumpster is the total opposite of Jesus and God. Jesus and Jehovah. The total opposite. Pain. Next part is pain. Romans 8:18. So I'm on back to Romans. And I cut all these little markers in here to make it easier. Just keep this flowing as much as I can. Romans 8:18. For I reckon that the sufferings of the present time, I'm dealing with pain, I'm dealing with suffering, okay, are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. What's that glory? It's a heavenly glory. One day we will be by the Father in heaven. Okay? So the pain and the sufferings and the stuff we deal with on earth and all the stuff I went through. When think about Job and all the losses he had and what happened at the end. He got everything back fourfold. Because he had faith in Jehovah. He did not quit. He did not give up. He overcame. Romans 5:35. Not only so, but we have glory in tribulations, knowing that the tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, because in our hearts by the Holy Ghost which is given unto us. Because in our hearts the Holy Ghost is given unto us. So all of our trials and tribulations and our pain worketh patience. That patience worketh hope. The hope that one day we'll be back, Father, Jehovah God, and Jesus in heaven. Job 3:9-10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your plow pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let the weak say, I am strong. Told you that verse was worth waiting for. Malachi 7:8-9. Malachi 7:8-9 says, Rejoice not against me, O my enemy, when I fall. I shall arise. When I sit in the darkness, the Lord Jehovah shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of Jehovah, because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold the righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it. Okay, so the enemy shall see it, that light. The shame shall cover her which said unto me, Where is Jehovah, thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she be trodden down as the mare of the streets. So, the Lord will execute, the main part right here, the Lord shall execute, Jehovah shall execute the judgment for me. Don't be your own judge, for the Lord should judge. Remember, the Bible also says, Judge not, lest ye be judged. Matthew 26:52. I'm actually going to read that one last. I'm going to Ephesians 6:11. Okay, it's this way. It's this way. I was right. Ephesians 6:11. Put on the armor of God. Put on the armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So I'm not just talking about overcoming war. I'm also talking about overcoming war within. Between our struggles here on earth, between good and evil. You know, our nightmares, I get nightmares at night because I have PTSD, because I have flashbacks of war. The wails of the devil try to come into my mind. How do you overcome that? By putting on the armor of God. God is always there to protect me. Jehovah, I love him with all my heart, all my soul, and all my might. Matthew 26:52. It is. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place. For all they take the sword shall perish with the sword. You know, the verses that talk about the seasons, the time of war, time for peace. And then it's also, I think it's a 1960s song too. Okay? Well, anyway, I've had my war. Now I got my sword put up. In fact, I have a real life sword that's hanging behind the camera. I got my practice sword there too, my boka, my wood sword. But I put up my sword. I put up my armor, my weapons, my warring weapons. And I'm letting the Lord, the God, fight my battles now for me. I'm done with war. I've seen enough combat. I've seen enough hate and division in this world. And every time you do it on the TV, you see the same stuff. I'm not trying to make this political, but Trump is evil. And you overcome evil by good. And the only way you can overcome that evil is with Jehovah, is with Jesus. Loss. There's some things here I wrote down about loss. I was talking about Job before. Job experienced much loss of his children, of his flocks, of his land, and his health. But he never gave up, and he trusted in God. And what happened at the end? He got everything back. Fourfold. Sarah. Had loss of infertility, as was Hannah. So Sarah and Hannah could not bear children. But they trusted God. David suffered loss of his good friend Jonathan. As I suffered loss of my son Kenneth, and loss of a lot of things in my old garage back home, in the house fire. It was mostly in the garage area, which is connected to the house, and then a lot of the outside part of the front part of the house. I suffered much loss. But I trust in God. It's hard. I get angry. I get angry at the Lord. I curse at the Lord. I ain't gonna lie. I do get angry. Like, God, why? You know, sometimes I feel like I'm getting slapped in the face. But I don't, honestly, I don't have the same strength that Job had. Alright? Let's go to Psalms. It's Revelation. That's way out there now. Psalms, I think it's way a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Psalms. I have a lot of things marked on Psalms, and here it is, 147. Let me start out with 147. 147, verse 3. He healeth the broken-hearted and bindeth up their wounds. Jesus. Now, Jesus worked the miracles on earth. Well, God, He works miracles every day. He can heal you. God will heal me in His own time. I deal with pain. I have to do my stretch outs and everything else. I deal with pain. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. But I know the Lord can heal me on His own time. He'll heal me. He'll heal the broken hearted. He'll heal those who are in pain. Psalm 99. Maybe an hour went too far. So, it is the end of Job. 9:9. Jehovah also be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. In my times of trouble, the Lord was there. Jehovah was there. Well, the higher power that you believe in was there, looking down upon you. I know I talk about Jesus and Jehovah, because that's who I believe in. Maybe you believe in a different God. You know, shout out to all my Islam friends. And they also have a monolithic God, you know. And it's the same God that we call Jehovah or Yahweh. They have, Allah is that same God. It's that monolithic God. I don't know if you've seen the video I talked about Islam and Christianity and how they all started at the same time. You know, so, you know, we all believe in a higher power. You know, the Judaism, the Jews, you believe also in that same monolithic God, that higher power. And He will heal us. He will heal us on His time. And now here's a big one. Here's a big one coming up. Psalm 18. I'm going to be reading 1, 2, 3, 6, 27, and 28. Okay. 1. I will love Thee, O Jehovah, with all my strength. Jehovah is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my strength, in whom I trust. My buckler and the horn of my salvation. I did cut off. I hope you got most of what I was talking about. I was at Psalm 28. But thou would save the afflicted people, but would bring down the high looks. But thou would light my candle. The Jehovah, my God, will enlighten in my darkness. So even in my dark times of trouble, like I was talking about, He will be there. He was in all the times I was in combat and war, and that house fire, the loss of my son, and all these things I went through. The Lord was there through all my times of darkness. Now the verse that I live by is Jeremiah 29:11. For I have plans for you, saith Jehovah. Plans for you to prosper and not to harm you. You know, that was the Bible verse that got me going again when I was going through one of the lowest points of my life. Alright? So the Lord will help you overcome. You just have to trust in Him. Okay? My next Truth Talk video will be the socialism of Jesus. Hope you enjoyed this Truth Talk. And may you overcome. And may you have faith in the Lord, and let us do the right thing in politics. Let us not vote for evil, but let us vote for good. Let us keep America going forward. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Jehovah, He loves you. Jesus, He will guide you. So, amen, my brothers and sisters. See you in the next Truth Talk.
Thank you.